Hello and welcome to the introductory video for Ilan 1.4. My name is Fernando de Zayas and I will be the narrator for this video. To begin, I have to define that my version of Ilan 1.4 is a derivation of the original Ilan 1.4, which itself is a derivation of the original Ilan, which was a successful expert advisor. So successful that countless people have created their own variations of it to either sell or allow public use in order for others to make a profit. The original version of Ilan 1.4 that I started from was interesting in that it did not use any indicators to determine whether it should buy or sell, along with when it should close an order. It used input variables that could be optimized and regular variables inside to keep track of all of the logic, and then a great large amount of logic in order to determine all of what the indicators generally do. My version of Ilan 1.4 is such that I added the RSI indicator, or relative strength indicator, that determines whether a currency is overbought, oversold, or somewhere in the middle. Generally, whether more pairs of the currency have been bought or sold in comparison to the total amount currently available. The return value is between 0 and 100. So 0 to 50 is generally assuming oversold. 51 through 100 is generally assuming overbought. But near 50 is really unstable since it can go in either direction. So I assumed to start with going above 70 to assume overbought, and going below 30 to assume oversold. At that point, it would sell or buy respectively. This change has made an increase in the profits for my version of Ilan 1.4, just not as much as I'd like, especially after optimization. Now, the research I performed for Ilan 1.4 was focused on just one of its optimization variables because it was rather interesting in how it worked. The type variable, or money management type, just determines how many lots are placed in any given order. In this screenshot of the code, you can see how the logic for it actually flows. There's only 3 cases. In the case 0, it's a direct translation of the lots. In case 1, it's a power function from lot exponent, which is an external input variable that can be optimized, along with the number of trades, and then concatenated to the amount of lots digits. And in case 2, it uses martingale logic, which is simplified in this case. The original martingale logic is such that for every time an order does not make a profit, you double the amount of lots and place the next order, so that if you do make a profit, you will not only recoup what you lost, but you will make a profit above the baseline. The simplified variation of it was just multiplying it by lot exponent instead of taking it to the power of lot exponent. So I performed 6 different optimizations on it, or rather 6 different test cases on it, optimized and unoptimized, for each of these cases. In general, they mostly look like this: steady up until the very end, either remaining stable or increasing a profit. You can pretty much ignore the dip at the end because this is due to a forced close at the end. If it was not forced to close, it would continue on to make a profit up until it decides that it's a good time to sell. In some of the cases, though, it just decided to make the trade better beforehand, because there are a very large amount of trades that are performed throughout each of these cases. This is the class diagram that I created for Ilan 1.4. It has a very large amount of variables and several functions. Most of those are repeatedly used in order to pretty much make up for the fact that it did not use an indicator before I added the RSI indicator to it manually. The state chart diagram makes it look a bit simple, but it does, well, just looking at it here, it makes it a lot more simple than it actually is, but then when you look at the code, it gets way more complicated. Anyway, that's it for the introduction for Ilan 1.4. I will cover more of the details in the other videos. Thank you for your time.